Pampila, Sonora, and today on behalf of Uni-Tele, we are going to inform you about political instability. As we know, politics drive every country's development, causing political instability to be the main cause of underdevelopment. Governments need specific fundings for education, health, and infrastructure. Without these funds, a country will fail to successfully develop. Overexploitation is also claimed to be a factor of underdevelopment in countries such as Africa and the Middle East. Political instability ties into political corruption, such as in the case of Nigeria, where there was raging political violence and evidence of fraud during the 2007 elections. As you can see, political instability leads to economic as well as law and order crisis. Having a country that is ethically, religiously, or communally divided causes barriers that lead to instability, which in turn leads to a country's rise in crime and economic downfall. The U.S.-sponsored Political Instability Task Force is a research project created to build a database based on major domestic political conflicts. This project originated in 1994 as a request of U.S. policy makers. It is made up of scholars and mythologists from Stanford, Harvard, and George Mason, as well as other universities. With this project, they hope to develop statistical models that can accurately assess countries' prospects in order to identify major risk factors for U.S. policymakers. This is how the U.S. is protecting their prospects. Now let's see how other countries like Egypt, Mexico, and Africa are doing.
Good afternoon. This is Pancha Lupilla live from Egypt. Egypt has undergone dramatic political changes since the 2011 revolution of former President Hosni Mubarak. In June 2012, elections were held and Mohamed Morsi won president. Egypt was now entering a period of political transition. The transition will further weaken the capacity of the Egyptian government to manage economic, social, and foreign policy challenges, thus sharpening the potential for political instability. Egypt's dire economic circumstances will not improve without political instability. In order for Egyptians to feed their family, they have to go to food banks. Chronically, there is high rates of poverty and unemployment. The Egyptian pound has also declined in value against the dollar. Numerous local companies have been forced out of business, swelling the ranks of unemployed. Domestic debt has also risen to roughly 187 billion US dollars. A leading NSF, short for National Salvation Front member, said in April, the government is pushing through economic laws without consulting other political forces, while Egypt's poor are paying the price for the Morsi administration failures. As you guys can see, the street protests continue as the economy continues to fall apart. Egypt's economy is still suffering from a severe downturn, and the government faces numerous challenges as to how to restore growth, market, and investor confidence. Now broadcasting live with Brian Rubio from Mexico City.
Hello, this is Brian Rubio from Uni-Tele reporting live from Mexico City. Over the years, Mexico has fallen into corruption. With the large amounts of poverty in Mexico and its lack in governmental help, Mexico has turned to the face of crime. Drug trafficking has led to an increasingly high crime rates within Mexico, stripping this country away from its sense of public security. The government's capacity to protect their citizens has proven weak, and the corruption has penetrated the Mexican government. The fight against these cartels has impacted American trades and its investments, as well as the safety of the U.S.-American border. The country's freedom from corruption is now at an all-time low, presenting a strong moral threat to the Mexican government and its laws. Mexican drug criminality contaminates over 295 U.S. cities, causing this to be a great concern for the USA. Pemex, the state-owned monopoly oil company, is continually declining. This results to lower oil prices and declining output and its long-standing Pemex mismanagement and efficiency. The Obama administration is advising Mexico to improve its economy and political instability and to increase production of agriculture in Mexico's rural areas and to expand international trade in order to stabilize their economy. This is it for me, and now to Marlon.
Thank you, Brian. This is Marlon reporting from Africa. Africa's political instability continues to be an ongoing problem for the population growth of the African continent. There are many factors that contribute to this, such as the economic performance. There are a number of structural issues that need to be overcome in order for Africa to take advantage of foreign investment. One being the religious fundamentalism in North Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa, in which there are tensions between Muslims and Christians. Another issue is the threat of arms proliferation in the Sub-Saharan countries. People would fear that arms could end up in the wrong hands, such as terrorists. In other areas, the growing urbanization of youth increased and made things worse, since half of the population is between the ages of 15 and 24, and 16% are unemployed. The growing population is also increasingly social deprivation on the continent. To end off, in basic terms, there is an ineffective leadership, poor policy of implementation in Africa. That is why Africa is not successful, and its failures has led to search a strategy to address Africa's development. Now going back to the studio live.
Thank you, Marlon. It is evident that political instability does not limit itself. Now let's see how it is affecting students in Mexico.
Zamora from Iztapalapa, Mexico High School. And I am Cerezosa from Iztapalapa, Mexico. So the government has affected us in many economic ways because we don't have money to go to college. We are barely in high school, and yes, we do have plans to go to college. So in order for us to achieve our goals, we have to recycle cans and dig through dirty trash cans to make our living. Our family is in extreme poverty, and we have to go to home shelters in order to have food in our table. It's not easy for us to go through this and to look for a better future for not only us, but our parents. But also, we don't even have anything. Don't cry. We don't even have anything to eat sometimes that we have to dig through garbage cans. It's so hard to live like that. I don't know how we're going to manage to do it, but we have to. I know.
Go into the trash or something. Pretend like you're scavenger hunting.
Yes, this is how poor we are. We have to look for food. I got a piece of bread. I want it.
Poor girls. But as we can see, political instability is nothing to play around with. Well, this was it from Uni-Tele, and we'll see you guys next time.